The Stuart Highway is one of Australia's longest roads, and its remoteness is posing a challenge for electric cars. This Tesla owner charges his battery at roadhouses and caravan parks when he goes on drives around central Australia. Could you go to Uluru in this EV?
I'm going to Uluru tomorrow. It's a bit of planning and it's a big day, but you can.
Hunter Murray wants more charges along the Stuart Highway so regional Australia isn't left behind.
We've really just got to make sure that infrastructure's in, and it's hard here in the Territory because we don't really have a grid.
The logistics could get easier for Hunter as more chargers are installed. Many of those currently around Alice Springs to Uluru aren't the type that can quickly charge a car. More than 100 sites in remote and regional locations, including in central Australia, are now getting faster chargers as part of a $90 million program by the federal government and the NRMA. But there are connection challenges in the bush.
The main barrier is the grid, the constraints on the grid. So it's really difficult to connect large charging infrastructure, public charging infrastructure easily.
Carly says in some locations they're going in without any existing power at all.
So we've had to develop a off-grid, what we're calling a standalone power charging system to cater for that problem.
The organisation is working with this manufacturer in regional Queensland.
That's our current charge at the moment.
The company's prototype has solar panels, battery storage and a backup diesel generator.
To provide fast charging facilities in very remote and regional locations where there is either a constraint on the grid where they can't get enough energy or in fact no grid at all.
It's soon being shipped out to the Stuart Highway along Hunter Murray's drive to Uluru.
So a couple of cars can charge at once in the middle of nowhere and get on their merry way again.
But the prototype is expensive at about $500,000, meaning it needs investment to scale up. And that is no sure thing with its installation just a trial.
If you go too fast in terms of rolling out the infrastructure, then they'll become underutilised. If you go too slow, then you end up with queues and people aren't happy.
Dr Dwyer warns the electrification of regional Australia will face setbacks.
We're going to require many more electricians and electrical engineers, particularly where you've got remote regions. We should be starting this yesterday as opposed to starting it today.
The Minister for Climate Change and Energy says they're not worried about cost blowouts or delays.
Of course, any new program like this is going to have its challenges. You're putting charges into areas where in some cases there's no electricity grid. This is a big infrastructure project.
The federal government says that it doesn't want regional Australians to be left behind, and advocates for charging stations in the bush say that this is about equity of services for anyone who doesn't live in a big city.
Need a charge? Yeah, here you go.
Hunter has already installed a fast charger at his business in Alice Springs. His employee wants more of them installed right across the bush.
To be able to travel, and have a charger every couple of 100 kilometres, I think a lot more people would quite happily jump into an EV.
The National Highway rollout will begin in months.